Welcome back to another episode of We Roguelike It. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpeer.
Hello.
And we're starting on a brand new game for this week. I just closed my notes. Let's open them back up here. It's called Caveblazers. We're going to do a 4-week sojourn in Caveblazers, delving into the depths of a cave and more? Question mark?
Yep. I think there's a temple thing.
Yeah, ran into a temple of some sort. To start off with, which platform are you playing it on? I'm on Switch.
I figured you would be, and I have limited Switch time, so I went PC.
Okay. This is one of the few games we have played on this show where we haven't really known anything about it. You know, Sun the Sea we've seen, and we knew a little bit about Swords of Ditto and so on.
And oh boy, did we know everything there was to know about Prey.
That's right. Too much, one might say.
Yes.
But this is probably one of the first games where we really didn't know anything about it, and
We're going in blind, kind of like bats in a cave.
Heyo. That's right. We're here all week, folks. So far,
Tip your servers. Patreon.com/E1M1.
That's right. So far, I'm enjoying this. It is. It's not quite what I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong because I haven't played it.
Mm-hmm.
This feels a little derivative, shall we say?
I think looking at it, you might suspect that it's Spelunky-like. That's another show.
Yeah, I would say this is it feels like a bit of a cross between Spelunky and the graphical stylings of a certain Risk of Rain included in it.
I think externally it looks like that, but I think when you play it, it's much, much faster paced than something like Spelunky.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It does have very much the same sort of core idea that Spelunky does, which is you start at the top, you're sort of moving towards a door at the bottom. But that's sort of where the similarities end. The combat is much faster. You're fighting more than one enemy at a time, and you're sort of encouraged to do so. Which I think is interesting. I think one of the more interesting, probably the most interesting thing in this game is the your sort of NPC co-op partners.
Yeah, I don't like them. The fellow adventurers, I absolutely hate them because they steal all of my gubbins.
Yeah,
it's like,
why are they stealing stuff?
Mm-hmm.
My first idea was, well, why can't I hit this guy? Get him. And I thought, oh, okay, he's on my side, and so are 4 of his other friends. And they're pretty handy. They don't have a ton of health, which is fine, but they need to stop picking up my potions and my gold and my stuff.
Do you have the stone outside yet?
No, so my last run, I walked outside and this guy's like, hey, how's it going? And I was like, who the hell are you? And he's like, hey, I'm going to fix a crystal out here. It's going to cost you a lot. So get back in there. It's like, okay, I guess.
When he's done, that crystal shuts the door behind you and stops any adventurers coming in after you. There may still be some in there before you, but they will still be there, but it'll stop everybody coming in after you. My trick with the people before I had the access to close the door behind me, get these randoms away from me. My trick before that was when you've cleared out a level, they will follow you really closely. I just jump around sets of spikes until they kill themselves.
That's pretty clever. I like the idea. I think it's cool that and they act like real people would. They can't stop jumping. They're always running forward. They snorting a line of something before they hopped into the dungeon.
Cave dust.
Yeah. But I that is my bigger problem, which is sort of I just destroyed a red chest and it's just going to start spewing this firework of money. And I'm going to use that to heal myself later. And then next thing you know, they've scooped up 400 gold, and that stinks. And they don't seem to drop it when they die, do they?
They drop a little bit of gold, but they definitely drop any items and spells and things like that they picked up. They do drop all that stuff, because one of them stole a crystal sword from me in the middle of a run. And I was like, you are going to die, and I'm going to get that crystal sword because I need it right now.
If I have to stab you myself, I'm going to get that sword.
I didn't have to stab him myself. I just jumped around spikes a little bit and he died. It was great.
Oh no, there's gold here at the bottom of this pit. You better get it.
Yep. It puts the gold on its skin or it gets the hose again.
That's right. One thing that I wish was and I don't know how they would resolve it, but one thing I wish it was a little bit better is the equipment screen in the game. I think probably my biggest recommendation would be just have the game pause when you have it open, because you're picking up. I like that you're picking up a lot of gear. Like you're getting boots and hats and swords and arrows and stuff, like bows and arrows. But I never really feel like I have a good safe place to say, all right, this sword does 5 to 7. This one does 4 to 8, but it does fire damage too. Okay, well, which one is better? And which skills are better than the other? That's been a little bit not frustrating, but sort of like I just gotta get it down, I guess.
Yeah, the shrines have a tendency to blur into the background a little bit for me as well.
Yeah,
like it's really hard to see them if you're on the other side of the room and you're not standing next to it and it says gold next to it or whatever.
Yeah,
it just looks like a piece of background, and it's like, oh no, that's a shrine. I need to get better at seeing those things.
Yeah, I do like that. Each one of those floating orbs that gives you some sort of skill are really easy to see, though.
Yes, the blessings.
Yeah, blessings. That's what it is. Yeah, I like that those are really clear. It's like, this is a thing you should probably pick up because it's gonna be good.
Yeah. The big thing for me is so far is like I like the fact that it keeps unlocking stuff for me. I like the fact that the home base seems to be developing kind of.
You have an experience bar when you finish. Like I like watching that bar go up.
No idea how that fills.
Neither do I, but I love seeing a bar fill.
There's no XP indication, or is it based on how much gold you picked up? I don't know.
How far you go? No idea.
Yeah, who knows? Have you beat a boss yet?
I did. I actually beat the first boss I ran into on my very first run. It was Medusa.
I haven't had Medusa yet, I don't think.
It's like a blue floating eye that you don't do much damage with your bow and arrow. But every once in a while she'll sort of like try and slam you. When she does, you do like triple damage.
Yeah, I've fought that one before. And I also fought a giant sandworm, which was
I have not fought that yet.
Strange.
Yeah.
Level 4 is my max level so far. Like stage 4 is my maximum stage because it feels like as soon as I get there, I just get killed.
Yeah, I feel like once you beat that first boss and you get into the next area, the game sort of like takes the gloves off and it's like, all right, here's the real stuff. It's like, oh no, I'm not ready.
Yes.
How do you control the bow and arrow on the PC version?
Well, I'm playing with controller, so right stick.
Okay.
It actually pops up on the PC version and says this game is designed to be played with a controller.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
And then it just switches over to controller input if you have it on.
Yeah, because that was going to be my question is, the bow and arrow works really well with the right stick, I find. And I was worried, not worried, I was curious how the hell you would do that.
Flint Hook was going to come into this, where it's like real easy mouse control on Flint Hook.
Boy, when we come up to Flint Hook in the backlog, we're going to figure out how the hell we're going to play that thing.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, so far I'm enjoying Caveblazers. It feels, I think it feels really good. Like the movement and the fighting and the bow and arrow and all this stuff really comes together pretty well. And it looks good. The music's fun. I like music a lot.
Yeah, I like the music. The art style is nothing special because it's a pixelated 8-bit whatever it is looking art style. But you know what? It's very fluidly animated, and that makes up for a lot in this kind of art style. So, I mean, I'm fine with that. Control-wise, it feels tight. I've never had a moment so far where it's like, oh, I fell on spikes because of the controls.
Right.
I have had a moment where I fell on spikes because I'm an idiot.
That's very different. That's not the game's fault.
No.
Yeah.
Spikes do 80 damage, by the way. 80. Yeah.
Yikes. Well, you almost have to wonder, why don't they just kill you at that point?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you what perk have you leaned towards, the basic perk, or have you chosen any other perk so far?
I unlocked a second one that I don't remember what it does. I've stuck with the basic one mostly. I think I looked at the second one. I was sort of like, maybe. I think it was more bow damage and less like melee damage, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it's called the Archer, that one.
Yeah.
I have a tendency, or it could be the twin shot one, where when you fire your ranged weapon, you fire 2 projectiles.
Ooh, hello.
But you do not start with a melee weapon.
Oh, interesting. Okay, that's cool.
Yep. Well, the one I prefer right now is called Juggernaut.
Okay.
And you start with I think you start with +3 base melee damage, minus 20% range damage, but you also start with an additional 50 health. So
oh wow. Okay.
I will take that because I am terrible with the bow and arrow.
Yeah.
And I just smash things in the face with a sword until they die.
I got a blessing that turned my bows into homing bows, but it wasn't as good as I was expecting it to. It wasn't. It wouldn't take a huge hook. It would just sort of start. It would do a little wibble. Enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the suitcase from Hitman 2.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I think that's it for me. Any parting thoughts about the caves? Blazing
no,
through?
I mean, we'll see how it goes. We got 3 more weeks to go?
Yeah, 3 more weeks, and I'm curious to see how deep this thing goes, because like we always do, if you're new to the oh, sorry, that was a bad I didn't mean that pun. If this is one of your first We Roguelike It episodes, we don't play this next to a wiki or a cheat sheet or anything, so I don't know if it's 6 floors deep or 15 or 300. We really have no idea. So all we can go by is the cool in-game list of challenges, which is a good thing.
Where are those challenges? Because I unlocked a challenge and I don't know where they are.
It's in the start menu. I think there's just a challenges item.
Okay. I might have to look at that.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for our first week of Caveblazers. We'll see you all next week.
Bye.
Thanks for watching the video, everyone. Bye.